Okay. My goodness. Let's do this. Hello everybody, it is Tito Capote, and we're back with another deck profile. I don't know. I have a lot of decks, so I've just been like doing videos about the deck profiles. But if there's any videos that you guys want me to do, like if any of the decks that I have on my channel, if you want to see like how they play, if you want to see combo videos, if you want to see whatever, like even if it's not related to the decks I play, maybe just like discussion about what I think about the format, or what I think about like a certain deck or whatever, playing against a certain deck, like tips and tricks and whatever. But I could do that for sure. I just don't know what to do because I've been doing Dragon Ball FighterZ for so long. Now that I'm doing Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, I don't know, just everything that you guys want to see, just let me know. And yeah, but anyway, let's get into this. So I'm doing this is jank. This is Dark Magician. So why am I doing a Dark Magician deck profile? Because it is one of my favorite decks of all time. One of the reasons that I play Heroes is because when I was little, I had a deck on the DS game, World Championship 2008, where I played a half Dark Magician, half Elemental Hero deck, because I thought they were the two coolest cards. Like the Elemental Heroes I loved because of the GX show, and the thing. Well, I guess none of you care about that. You're just here for the deck profile. But you know what? I care. So you're all going to know about it. So but anyway, Dark Magician, one of my favorite decks of all time, and a deck that I really love. It's the first competitive deck that I ever built in Yu-Gi-Oh, before all the crazy support. Honestly, this was back when Eternal Soul Dragon Knight was the best thing you could do with Dark Magician, way before any of the Dragoon stuff and way before anything. So it's come a long way. But anyway, let's get into it. So this version I'm going to do is is the more in-depth version. I'm going to do a quick version like I do with all my other deck profiles. If you guys want to check that out, I'll put in the link below. But for now, I'll go in depth about every card choice, every ratio. I'll just explain it in depth. And yeah, for those of you who are just learning the deck, for those of you just like, oh hey, Dark Magician, that's pretty cool. And yeah, let's get into it, shall we? So first off, this might be questionable. I don't think it's questionable, but it might be for some of you, because you're just like, Dark Magician deck, why are you playing two Dark Magicians? And I'm only playing two Dark Magicians because I think that 3 is bricky, and you can search out Dark Magician so easy with like every card. Eternal Souls, dump it to not Eternal Soul, Soul Servant, not Soul Servant, with the good one that's expensive, Magician Souls. I forget my own cards. Magician Souls dumps it to the graveyard. Half your deck searches it or has a way to search it. You're not going to have trouble finding Dark Magician. If you do, well, then you're not building the deck right. So I think 2 Dark Magician is just okay. And like if you have 2 in your hand, then you're like, the hell, because, or even if you have 1 in your hand, because it could be another better card, right, that searches Dark Magician, or that gets you 2 Dark Magician. And at this point, like playing more than 2, I don't think is right. But again, like every other deck profile I make, this is just my opinion. You guys don't have to follow it. This is just what I think. And yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh is a game where you can do whatever the hell you want in your deck. So you want to build jank, or not even that it's jank, it's just like, this is my build, this is what I think is good. But yeah, just that. Now, quick warning, this is more of a control deck. Well, I built it as a control deck because I think that's where Dark Magician shines. And as you can see, I'm not explaining this guy's effect because all he has is flavor text. Look, an ultimate wizard the ultimate wizard, ooh, in terms of attack and defense. Now, we're playing 2 Timaeus the United Dragon. Why am I playing 2 Timaeus the United Dragon? Let's see what he does first. So what he does is you can send 1 spellcaster monster or 1 spell trap that mentions Dark Magician from your hand or face up the field to the graveyards. That includes your field spell or your Dark Magical Circle or your Eternal Soul if you have doubles. And special summon this card from your hand. During the main phase, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand and field as material. So it's basically like polymerization. And you could basically just like send your field spell, which you don't really use, and then use this to fusion summon Dragoon or the Dragon Knight. Why do I play 2 of this? It is because Verte Anaconda recently got banned, well, in this ban list, and that was your main way of making Dragoon. And honestly, Dragoon is pretty much the best thing that your deck can do. Well, this deck can do. Dragoon's kind of good. We want as many ways of getting to Dragoon as possible. Although this is searchable off of what's it called? Off of the Illusion of Chaos. So basically every card is searchable in your deck. So any card that lists any monster that lists Dark Magician in their text is searchable off Illusion Chaos. And I'll get to that later, but I'm not playing 3 of most monsters specifically for that reason, because they're all searchable. And I need 2 because you can just use this from your hand, right? You can use it like for poly, for whatever. And if worst comes to worst, it's just a 2800 beater that you can summon really easily in this deck. So I think 2 is good. Again, I might be wrong, but that's just what I think. Next, we have 3 Apprentice Illusion Magician. Why do we have 3 Apprentice Illusion Magician? I just said that I was just playing 2 of most things because they're searchable. Yeah, I'm playing 3 of this because it's a free special summon to go into Link plays. It is an honest effect, and it is a way to search out your Dark Magician. Before, it used to be really good because you could go into Verte Anaconda with this in your normal summon, but now it's really good because it searches your Dark Magician and just gets rid of cards that you don't want in your hand, which, again, Souls does that, but I like Apprentice Illusion Magician. I think it's really good. I think the honest effect comes up more than you think, especially with Dragoon being a spellcaster. You could boost your Dragoon with it. But also I think it's a really good card. It's not once per turn either, so if you just have like gas, you can help you go for OTK. So that's good. 1 Dark Magician Girl, because you can dump this girl with souls. And why is that good? It is because Soul Servant lets you draw an additional card for if you have a Dark Magician Girl in your graveyard. I forgot to go over what this does. So what you can do is you can special summon this card from your hand by discarding 1 card. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Dark Magician monster from your hand, 1 Dark Magician from your deck to your hand during damage calculation. If you're other, so not this one, you can't use it on this one, which is dumb. Well, it's not dumb, but you know what? 1 other Dark Spellcaster monster battles an opponent's monster. Quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or face up to the field to the graveyard, and that monster you control gains 2000 attack. So yeah, it's good. It's a good card. Anyway, Dark Magician Girl, she's in there for the reasons I said. Also, you like to play Dark Magician Girl because Dark Magician Girl is cool. Next, again, just more ways of getting to Dragoon, and now I don't think you need Magician's Rod as much as a normal summon. I think that, well, this card's a 1-card Dragoon, so it's like pretty good. If you have Dark Magician in your hand, or if you have a way of searching Dark Magician. Also, it's really good Ash bait. If you have most things that you want in your hand and you don't want to get Ashed, you can just summon this and they'll probably Ash it because it's a really good effect. But anyway, let's go over what it does. If this card is normal or special summon, you can discard 1 card, add 1 polymerization card for normal spell or fusion normal spell card from your deck to your hand. Then you can reveal 1 fusion, and then when it's on the field, you can reveal 1 fusion monster from your extra deck special summon from your graveyard. 1 of the fusion monsters specifically listed on it. In face down defense position, so you can still use poly on it, but you can't attack or use it for link material or whatever. And yeah, you can only use each copy once per turn, each effect once per turn. And you can't summon, and the turn use effect, you can't summon monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters, which is mostly what you do anyway, so it's fine. Then 2 Magician's Rod. Now this is really good. Again, I'm only playing 2 because it's searchable and because I don't think you really need it anymore. I mean, it's good, it's really good, but again, searchable. Don't read it as much anymore if your main game plan is Dragoon, and just Dragoon and back row is usually what you want to do, and if not, then just back row and like back row. But anyway, what does this card do? So when this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 spell or trap card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists Dark Magician in its text during your opponent's turn. You can, if you activate a spell and trap card effect with this card's in your graveyard, then you can tribute 1 spellcaster monster and add this card to your hand. It's also recurable, which is why you don't really need more than 1. You can bring Dark Magician back during their end phase, trigger this, send it back to the graveyard, and add it. Get it banished while you're doing it if you have Circle on the field. 3 Magician Souls. Why 3 Magician Souls? Because it's the best card in your main deck for sure. This card is busted, especially in Dark Magicians. Because so what this card does, if I'm sure all of you who play Dark Magician know, but if you're new, then you can send up to 2 spells while it's on the field. You can send up to 2 spells or traps from your hand or field to the graveyard. And then draw that many cards. If this card is in your hand, you can send 1 level 6 or higher spellcaster monster from your deck to the graveyard and activate one of these effects. Either special summon this card or send this card to the graveyard and special summon a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from your graveyard. Why is this so good? Because it sets up your Dark Magician loops. It sets up if you already have a Dark Magician in hand, it sends Dark Magician Girl to the graveyard so you can get that extra advantage with Soul Servant. It special summons itself, so it's a body on board to do stuff with. It's just a really good card. And also, if you have extra cards on the field, or if you have if you don't want the field spell for the extra advantage, you can just send it off and draw a card, try to get into your floodgates. It's really good. It's a really good card. I think again, I know it's expensive, so other stuff that you can play instead of this are the spellbook engines. So one spellbook magician or whatever, the blue thing, the blue Magician of Prophecy, I think, I don't know. Then 1 spellbook of secrets and 1 spellbook of knowledge. I think that's the other thing you could play. Just it doesn't do the same thing, but it does some things. Or you could play another rod, you could play another whatever. It's just Souls, I think, is the best one, but I get it's expensive and not everyone can have it, so it's whatever. Now, I would be playing 3 Illusion of Chaos, but I don't have 3 Illusion of Chaos, so I'm playing 2, and I don't want to pay $30 for another one because I want to build other decks. But anyway, I think 2 is good enough because it's basically just another card. Actually, no, in this deck it's a lot more than that. So what this card does, you can ritual summon this card with Chaos Force. You're never going to do that, ever. Not even once. You can reveal this card from your hand to add 1 Dark Magician or 1 non-ritual monster that mentions it from your deck. So like I said, this searches Souls, this searches Rod, this searches... actually, Dark Magician Girl. This searches Apprentice Illusion Magician, and it searches Timaeus. It searches every monster in your deck, including Dark Magician. So, this card is basically every monster in your deck. And what it also does is, after that, you can return this card to the... you can reveal this card and add one of those. Reveal this card, add one of those, and shuffle back 1 card from your deck. So you can keep this in your hand for next turn if you want. If you have a brick in your hand that you don't want 2 copies of a card in your hand, you can just shuffle it back. It's why it's so... I actually use this in Live Twin specifically because you can special back bricks. You can not special back. You can you can return bricks to the deck. And also... because it's Souls is really good. Souls is really good. And if you can search Souls, that's just amazing. Also, it has an effect on field, but since we won't summon that, I mean, I guess I'll go over it because it's a thing. But you can return this card to your hand, and if you do, special summon Dark Magician from your graveyard. And if you do that, negate the activated effect. You're never going to use this because I don't play Chaos form. I just use this to search everything else. And you can send Illusion of Chaos off of Magician Souls if you need to. But basically, this is just this reusable searcher for everything in your deck because it's just that good. It's basically Soul Servant, but better. Then we're playing... I think this is really important in the format. I'm only playing 2 because... I'd rather see other cards in this. I'd rather see some of the floodgates that I played in this. But... anyway, let's go over it. So, 2 Super Poly. 2 Super Poly is really good in this deck, especially against Albaz. For those of you who know, that's the main deck in the format, and, yeah, it's the main deck in the format. So, why is this so good against Albaz? Because most of the monsters that Albaz plays, are dragons. Most of the boss monsters, most of the fusion monsters are dragons, and... why is that important? Because you sort of have an extra deck that is Dark Magician plus dragons. So two of your big boss monsters are fusion cards that use Dark Magician and a dragon as fusion material. When they have their Mirror on field and you just summon back Dark Magician, you activate the effect of what's it called? damn, what's it called? Mirror Jade. You activate they activate the effect of Mirror Jade, and then you chain Super Poly. They can't respond with anything else. And then you make Keeper of Dragon, you make Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. Why do you make that instead of Dragoon? It is because the effect that Mirror Jade activates is still going to resolve, and that means they can banish one card on your field, or I think one monster on your field. Either way, the reason why you go for Dragon Knight is because usually you have Eternal Soul up on the field because you have a million ways to search it now. And Eternal Soul makes your Dark Magicians unaffected by card effects, by your opponent's card effects. So if you activate it, it won't be, the Dragon Knight counts as Dark Magician on the field and it won't be affected by Mirror Jade's effects. And if it is cards, then Dark Magician protects your spell traps as well. So, it's good. It's good in the deck, especially against Albaz. And also you have other targets as well. I'll explain those later. But Super Poly, it's basically you can fuse using cards on either field as material, and it's good. And they can't respond to it, which is really good. Anyway, let's go on to the next card. Soul Servant. 3 of these guys. Why 3? Because this is a really good card. So what you can do is place one card from your deck. One card on the top of your deck from your hand, deck, or graveyard that is Dark Magician, or specifically lists Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl in their text, except Soul Servant. So and then after you do that and it's in the graveyard, you can banish this card to draw either 1 card if you only control Dark Magician on your field or graveyard, or 2 cards if you only control Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl in your field or graveyard. Also, the effect to draw is once per turn, but the effect to stack is not. So if you have 2 Soul Servants and you have Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician in the graveyard, which happens pretty often because of Magician Souls. You can actually activate both of them, then activate the effect to draw 2, and then you draw both of them, which is, it comes up more often than not, I think. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then two Dark Magical Circle. I'm only playing this because you have so many ways of searching Magician's Rod and searching just cards and drawing cards in general that I don't think you need 3 anymore. And usually seeing 2 of them is really bad because you don't want to, you can only activate 1 per turn, right? You can actually you probably don't know that if you're not playing the deck, but you can only activate 1 per turn, and you can only activate the effect once per turn. So if you have 2 copies on the field, it's kind of useless. You can use it to pitch from Magician Souls, but at that point, why not just have another better card? So I think 2 is good. I think it's really good. I think it's better than 3 right now. But again, you can disagree and you can play 3, whatever. It's not an expensive card. Even the secrets are like $5, so whatever. Then what does this card do? When this card is activated, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Then you can reveal 1 Dark Magician or 1 Spell and Trap card that specifically lists Dark Magician among them and add it to your hand. Also place the remaining cards on the top of your deck in any order. You do not reveal this to your opponent, and well, the order at least, yeah, or the cards actually. And then if Dark Magician is, and then while it's on the field, if Dark Magician is normal or special summoned, you can target a card you control, or your opponent controls, and then banish it. Which is cool. It's really good. It is a targeting banish, but a targeting banish is still really good. And yeah. Anyway, that's why you don't play 2. Anyway, next, 1 Magician Salvation. This is basically just another copy of Eternal Soul, but it's basically better because you can send it for souls to draw a card, or it gives you a lot of advantage in way of link climbing and basically link climbing or fusion material, if you have a way to stack your fusions back, which you usually do in way of Soul Servant. But what it does is when it's activated, you can set a Eternal Soul straight from your deck. And while it's on the field and a Dark Magician is summoned, you can name Dark Magician Girl. You can target the Dark Magician and then summon a Dark Magician Girl from your graveyard. Or you can target the Dark Magician Girl if it's summoned and summon back a Dark Magician from your graveyard. Now, this is really good because it's a way to trigger the Magician Circle, as well as just get you extra material and extra damage on board. You can do this every turn, and you can basically link off the Dark Magician Girl every turn to to like do extra stuff and just keep using it. But usually what you're going to do is you're going to send this with soul. Oh, damn it, Magician Souls. Why am I like this? Why do I keep saying Soul Servant? Anyway, so yeah, that's what this does. We only play one of it because it's really searchable, and you don't want to have more than one copy of it, because if you do, then you can't use it, really. It already does what it does. Then one polymerization to search off of Keeper of Dragon Magic. The dragon fusions aren't the only fusion things that you can summon in this deck, and it makes it, there's a lot of versatile options. Cards, one really good card that draws you cards, that's really expensive right now for some reason, even though it's not really the best. But then one Secrets of Dark Magic. What this is basically searchable polymerization with Magician's Rod, Soul Servant, and any of those cards. So it's just a searchable fusion spell, which is really good. Then we're playing one Change of Heart because I think this card is busted. People may tell you that it's not busted, but literally, man, I actually showed one of the people at locals how good this card is, especially in like a just top decking scenario, because he was playing Adventure Plunder Patrol, and I was playing Heroes, and actually he had I had no way of getting past his board because he had something, and then he had one of the XCs, I think it's called Mork, which has a quick effect, banishes one of your cards, and all I had was a Ferris and I think a Shadow Mist. All I had was a Shadow Mist, and then he had his full board set up and whatever, and I was like, if he like banishes my Shadow Mist, I'm kind of screwed. But then I had a Prosperity in hand. I drew into Change of Heart. I took control of his Mowork, and then that let me summon Shadow Mist and go in for to attack his monster with both of his monsters. And the Mowork has a cool effect where if you have if it's equipped, you can detach from it to make it so it's not destroyed by battle or card effect. But because it was in my control, he couldn't activate that effect because it was like my card or whatever. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Just, it's a cool card. It comes up really good. It's really good in the top deck scenario. I think it's I know it's a going second card, but I play it in going first just because of how good it is in late game and of how much you can thin your deck with this deck, and you're just going to see it. So 2 Eternal Soul because it's, again, searchable with everything, and you have an extra third copy in what's it called? The Magician Salvation, which I think is like enough. And Eternal Soul, what this does is every Dark Magician monster in your monster zone is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. If this face card leaves the field, then you destroy all monsters you control. Cool interaction. If you have Dragoon on the field and this card gets destroyed, because Dragoon can't be destroyed by card effects, he stays on the field, which is really funny. And then once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Either special summon a Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard, or add 1 Dark Magic attack or 1,000 Knives from your deck to your hand. The second effect doesn't ever come up because you don't play those bad cards, but you can if you want to. But it's just recurring. It procs the Dark Magical Circle. You can bring back Dark Magician all the time, using for link material, using for whatever, fusion, whatever. Then we're playing the Floodgates. So 2 Summon Limit. Summon Limit's really good because it stops every deck except for Floodgate decks, ironically. So it's really good in this format because Sword Soul, I think the main decks in the format are going to be, this is what it's shown to be, but the main decks in the format are going to be Branded, and Despia, not Branded, that's literally the same deck. Despia, Branded, and, what's it called? Plunder Patrol, and Sword Soul. All of them summon more than twice per turn. So if you activate this, they're like, yeah, what do I do? Basically, if they can't get rid of it, they lose the game because you can do everything. You can summon the 2500 beater and banish a card every turn. 2 Ice Dragon's Prison. This is really good against Albaz. It's really good against... it's okay. I know it's really good against Sword Soul because all their monsters are worms. And it's really good against Plunder Patrol because... Actually, no, it's not that good against Plunder Patrol. But you can reborn one of their stuff, which is really good. So it's really good against Albaz because you can... most of their monsters are dragons. But also, they need an Albaz to be able to fuse into their Mirror Jade. Why does that matter? Because usually they send it to the graveyard with Lebellion. And then you just Ice Dragon's Prison, summon it back to their field. And they can't do anything. So it's really good. What this card does is you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon to your side of the field, but its effects are negated, and you can banish one monster from both players' fields that have the same type as each other. It's really good. Oh, also summon limit. You can only summon two times per turn. I forgot to mention that, but I guess you could have noticed it from what I was saying. One skill drain. Honestly, you can take this card out. Or play 3 of it instead of one of the floodgates that I'm playing. I don't have 3, and it's expensive right now, so that's why I'm only playing 1. But you don't really need your monster effects to be able to win with this deck, because like 2500 is a pretty good 3000 is pretty good with the what's it called, Dragon Knight, and you can summon them both really easily. And yeah, but I don't think it's necessary in the deck. I think these floodgates are actually better, and I'd rather play these than skill drain, specifically because they're good against a lot of decks. And skill drain is only good on on-field effects, which isn't always what you need to worry about. So what next we're playing skill drain. What it does is negates the effects of all monsters on the field by paying 1,000. Then dimensional barrier. I'm playing 3 of them because it is good against branded, it is good against sword soul, and it is good against plunder patrol. Because with the plunder patrol, you can always see what if you know the deck, you can know which extra deck monster they can summon with the cards on the field, because they all need to have the same attribute in the graveyard or on the field with their plunder patrol stuff. So if you know the attributes of the extra deck monsters, you can tell which monster your opponent's going for, and call that one with or the one that hurts you the most with dimensional barrier. But against sword soul, you call synchro, they lose. Against branded, you call fusion, and they lose. What this card does is you can declare one monster type, ritual, fusion, synchro, xyz, or pendulum, and for the rest of the turn your opponent cannot special summon monsters with the declared type, and negate the effects of all monsters on the field while they have that type. So it's good in late game as well. Then 3 anti-spell fragrance. Now this doesn't hurt sword soul as much, but there's more branded in my locals than sword soul. Actually, honestly, you could switch this for 2 more skill drains and 1 more rod or something. I don't really like, this is the flex. They're all flex spot. You can do whatever the hell you want with your deck, but this is the spot that I would consider to be something that you don't need to use. I just like it a lot because it kills branded. They can't use any of their spells. They can't go into their fusions, and it's good against all rogue decks as well. All rogue decks use spells, and it's just basically a nerfed version of Imperial Order, which I think is really good. Then, for the extra deck, this is actually supposed to be Predaplant Dragostapelia. I'm going to use this for right now because my friend borrowed the Dragostapelia and then lost it. So, yeah, we're doing this now. But this is supposed to be Dragostapelia. It is a fusion card. It is, I think, a level 8 and a plant. And the effect of Dragostapelia is while it's on the field, you can target one monster your opponent's control, put a Predaplant counter on it as a quick effect, and while it's on the field, all monsters with a Predaplant counter on it have its effects negated. So it's basically a quick effect, effect negate, on-field effect negate, which is really good, and you can use a fusion monster and any dark monster, and usually your opponent, branded has fusion monsters, you have fusion monsters, so you can do it really easy with Super Poly. That's a Super Poly target. The other Super Poly target is Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. It takes 2 monsters, and its effect is when this card is fusion summoned, you can make this gain attack equal to 1 special summon monster your opponent controls. And at the end of this turn, once per turn, you can target 1 level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls. Until the end of this turn, this monster's name becomes that original name, and replace the effect with that effect. If this fusion monster is destroyed, you can destroy all monsters, special summon monsters your opponent controls. That comes up sometimes, but it's whatever. Then we're playing 1 Dragoon. You can play more of this. Usually you want to play more of this, but I'm broke, and this card's like $100. I'll tell you which spot, which card to switch and for another Dragoon if you do have one. But I only have 1. Then we're playing Zeus because we play Xe. Oh, I have to tell you what these things do. So Dragoon, what it does is it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Neither player can target this card with card effects. During your main phase, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage equal to the monster's usual attack. You can use this effect the number of times per turn, up to the number of normal monsters used for fusion material of this card. And then once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can discard 1 card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Also, this card gains 1,000 attack. This is a really good card. It's I don't know why there isn't a more. But anyway, the Dark Tournament Gloomy. Why this you can play. I think it's really good because all your monsters are dark, and its effect is insane. So because it's the dark attribute charmer specifically, you can target one dark monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon to your side of the field to zone this card's points to. If this link summon card is destroyed by battle or is destroyed by opponent's card effect while your opponent that's on his monster zone, you can add one dark monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So most of your main deck monsters have less than 1500 defense, and yeah, pretty good. One Nightmare Phoenix just to respond trap removal and to get Dark Magician off the field, Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. One Master of Chaos because you do play. So this card, when it's summoned, you can discard a card to pop a spell or destroy a spell or trap. Then this card, what it does is when this card fusion summon, you can target one light or dark monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You contribute one light and dark monster to banish all monsters your opponent controls. If this fusion summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one spell in your graveyard added to your hand. You can only use each effect of Master of Chaos once per turn. It comes up sometimes, and you play Illusion of Chaos, which you can recycle a lot, so you only really need one, and it is searchable, so you can use it to fusion summon Master of Chaos and get banish your opponent's field, non-targeting. One Link Kashama because Magician Souls is a level 1, and if your opponent like decides to put it in the zone in front of the Link monster, what this card does is you can equip one card that this card this card points to with its link arrow, and equip it to the card, and gains that much attack for like it gains the attack of the equipped monster, and it's good because you can use it with Soul Servant. One of the Dark Magicians, this is one of the fusions you're going to be going into the most. I would play 2 of this if I could. I would take out a Dragon Knight if I could play 2, but again, it's like $100 for some reason. It was at 1.30, but it's a Dark Magician card, so it's only had one printing. And then once per turn, if a spell trap card effect is activated, except during the damage step, you can draw one card. And if it was a spell trap card you control, you can set it. And if it was a trap card or a quick play spell, you can activate it this turn, which actually comes up a lot. Say you draw into Solemn Judgment and then you play it, which I guess we're not playing in the deck, but damn it. Or draw into one of your floodgates and then activate it, and it's really good. And when it's destroyed, you can summon one Dark Magician and one Dark Magician Girl from your hand, field, or graveyard to the field. So it's really good. One Dark Magician Dragon Knight. So basically what this card does is it becomes Dark Magician while it's on the field or in the graveyard, and if your opponent cannot target spells or trap you control with card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which means they can't destroy your Eternal Soul. Your Eternal Soul is protected, and it's really good, and you can keep it coming. It keeps coming back every turn. So we play 2 of those, but I would switch it for one Dark Magicians if I could. Then one Appaloosa because you can get into 4 monsters pretty easily. One Ebon Illusion Magician, it just it banishes cards, and it's good. Then one number 11 Big Eye. I would switch this out for a second Dragoon if I could, but for now, it just takes control of your opponent's monsters by detaching material, and he's level 7, so you can summon him with 2 Dark Magicians. And one Nightmare Unicorn just to get cards off the field. Well, guys, that's it for the deck profile, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then please let me know down in the comments. If you disagree with anything I said or any like card choices or whatever, please let me know. Like I said, I just want to get better with these decks, and this is just my take on it. If you have a different one, just let's discuss. And if not, if you have any recommendations on videos you want to see, maybe not decks because I'm not rich and I can't build every deck or whatever, but maybe like you have a deck recommendation and you think like, oh hey, it'd be cool to build this, I'd be down. And if you have any just suggestions on videos like on decks that I've already built, like maybe how to play it, maybe how it like matches up against a certain deck, maybe just something like that, then yeah, let me know. And if not, then please leave a like, maybe even subscribe, and if you want, hit the notification button for more videos. And yeah, see you guys later. Hope you have a great day.